Hello again. Okay, so we're back. I'm going to start doing a little bit of programming. It's going to be more of a sort of ideas session today. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to work on next. I've got quite a few big jobs to do, so I'm going to figure out which one I'm going to do next. So I'll maybe jump in between little jobs and looking at things a lot, but you'll get to see the game and what I'm working on. So. What I'm going to work on next. I've got quite a few big jobs to do. Okay, let's get this rolling. Here we go. As always, just pipe up if you've got any questions or anything. But I'm probably going to work a lot. I'll try and check the comments as much as I can. But I'll be doing a lot of reading, probably trying to figure out, because the problem is I've done a lot of work and jumping back to parts that you've already started but not finished. You've got to then figure out where you were and what you were doing. So let's hope it goes well. Right. Okay, so they're my buildings I've built so far in my kingdom. The score's not saving at the moment. That's something I need to work on. Bear with me, just trying to get myself sorted. Okay, I think we're good. Alright. So the weapon equipping's working. Got my skills there, that's the job I've got to do. Achievements I'm not too bothered about right now. I'll do that much later. Building's kind of working. Let's have a look at my maps. Map system's working, but I've only got two types of level at the moment. I've got a standard playfield level, so that's got 2 floors and a score, and then you've also got treasure chest ones, and they're working. I might work on them a bit because I'm not too happy with the UI over here at the moment, but I'll fix that at some point. Right, so there we go. See, instant problem. Paddle's way too big. Let's go back in. There we go. It's a bit more like it. So I've done a little bit of work this morning. Did another island that I'm going to add actually in a minute. I'll do that one in a sec. But I can also now, I've got it working with multiple balls, so you know, special skills and stuff that you'll unlock. You know, you get an extra ball skill and stuff like that. So I'm going absolutely mental in test mode. It seems to be running nice and smooth, which is cool. So like I said, the idea of this is, so it's an Arkanoid game in essence, but there's a lot more to it. So the actual standard gameplay mechanic is to destroy the nightmare blocks, which are these ones here, purple ones. They're going to be animated and stuff in a bit, and there's going to be, like, I don't know yet. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with those. So I've also got to add monsters strolling about. I'm just figuring out how I'm going to go about doing that, because obviously I can't so much have walking monsters because the islands aren't joint. So I might design all the enemies to be either flying or floating enemies. I'll do what I want. You know what I mean? So why not? Let's go mental again. This is funny when it does that. No frame rate drops there, so that's nice. Which is what I want. Yeah, that's running nice and smooth. The balls are bouncing nice. Ah, yeah, cool. It's the end of the level. Go back to the map. Alright. So I don't know what I'm going to work on next. That's the biggest problem. There's so many jobs to do. Just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. So I think I will go for a bit of, because there's a lot of stuff to unlock in the game. I'm trying to figure out a good system of unlock. Maps are fine. Kingdom system. I've got to do some work on this UI here as well. That's another thing I've got to look into. I don't know really what I'm going to do with it just yet. I've still got to. I've sort of got myself to a point now where I've designed a vast portion of the core mechanics of the game, and now it's to the point where I've got to flesh those mechanics out. And I'm a big believer in, you know, just jump in and give it a go and see what comes out. But at the same time, I don't want to waste my time doing something that's completely unnecessary. So I'm going to give things a little bit of thought. And while I'm doing it, I'll have a little play around, make sure nothing's bugging out. It seems to be running quite smooth. I think the ball needs to be bigger, a lot more visible. That's something I'm going to do. I'm going to put a tail on it as well, so it will leave a trail of light behind it when it bounces, you know. That would be nice. And I've got to design the paddle at the bottom. I've also got to work on the UI, so I'm going to think about some of the things I need to put in there. But I've also got I had a bit of an idea, so you can also build buildings. So you build buildings in your headquarters. But I'm also thinking about having a population system, so you get people move in to your town. And I was thinking of having them in, you know, every now and then you can find people in cages on levels, and you smash the cage open and it adds 1 to your population score, you know. So not only are you building, you're also rescuing the inhabitants, which I thought was quite a cool little idea. But I need to be careful that I don't add too many things. I need to figure out if it's necessary or not, because I don't want to get too far into development and think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That's one big puzzle. What I'm going to do next? What am I going to do? Well, we'll stick the new thing in anyway. I don't need this so big. So I've got my actual editor as well. So I've been working on my level editor. So that's the level you've just seen. The first floor, second part of it, and so on. Yeah, you can go up to 10 on each map's node. Hello mate, how you doing? Yeah, game preview. You can also see the back of house tools I've built. So right now this is the level editor I've built. It allows me obviously to just quickly develop levels. These are all the tiles, so if I wanted to just put one there I can. You know, that's what I've been working on really. So I need to do a bit of work on this as well. Got to add some other stuff, but we'll stick the new graphic in for now. What's this one? Okay. Because we did a new island, didn't we, this morning? Finished that off. So here that is. We'll pop that in. make sure it's correct. Yes, it is. Cool. Test, make sure that works. Yeah, so there's the new island I built this morning. That looks quite cool actually, I'm quite pleased with that. Okay. Cheers, man. There's also the block editor. So these are the actual blocks. So I've got to design a ton more blocks, a shit ton more. There's going to be hundreds, so I can set their damages, scores, etc. These are the particle effects system that I've still got to finish off. So we'll do that. Get that done. Sort of need to make a list really of all the jobs I need to do. This is just sort of world map editor that I built. So that's the thing. While the game doesn't look like it's got a lot in it at this moment in time, all the back office tools are on their way. You know. The block explosion. All right. Sorry. Keep getting messages on Steam. Alright, so block explosion you want to see, yeah? Alright, let's get there. Alright, fine. There's the block explosion effect. What do you think? Obviously there's going to be a bit more to it, so the purple ones are going to have different effects, and they're all going to have different particle effects as well, probably. So the rocks will knock off, like little bits of grey stone will fall off, and all the trees' little green bits will fall off, and the flowers' little purple bits. You know, just to add that extra bit of flavour. But that's what I've got at the moment. Yeah, we'll be adding some colour. There's so what I've built is at the moment it's white, but if I go back to the block editor, I'll be able to assign, say for example this yellow one here. I'll be able to see I've sort of programmed it in, but it stores it'll sort of be around this colour for that block. It'll be purple for this block, and so on. So no, it'll all sort of merge nicely, so it'll all be different colours popping all over the place. So that should be quite cool. And then when I add the second particle effect, which is going to be the, you know, the little chips of stone and stuff. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Brown, green. There you go. See, it'll change per stone. That's something I've got to work on. Got quite a lot to do. Map editor, this is where I spent a lot of time on this to get this right. So each of these nodes I can set the values, scores, etc. and what it unlocks. So completing this tile here, this zone will unlock the room to the right, which is ID 20, which is this one here, and then completing this one it could unlock the one below it and the one above it. etc, etc. And then this one here could unlock the one to the right here, which would unlock this one, and then you snake all around the place. You can also set the background to the map and some other bits and bobs, you know, and you've got your different nodes. So I've got to draw a load of them as well for the maps. That's got to be done. I've got to, obviously there's going to be a lot of testing involved to figure out what the scores are, high scores to beat and target scores, etc. But that should be easy enough. Hang on. Yeah. So it's getting there. It's getting there. It's just a lot of interfaces to work with. But the thing is, setting all this stuff up in the first instance obviously speeds things along. So you've got your weapon database. It's going to have a lot more information down here, but I've only just started this for all the different weapons in the game. You can see there's quite a few that I've designed. Oh, yeah, I do work fast. I'm having a bit of a block today and yesterday. The drawing's cool, so when I sort of have a block with the actual programming, I start hammering out the graphics as fast as I can. But yeah, so this is only a couple of weeks in. Yeah, it might be. This is the point. I'm trying my hardest to get this game out, you know, because I love making games, and you know, now that it's my job, I can't hang about. So, and plus I love it. So, you know, but yeah. So then you've got your Kingdom editor, which is the buildings, etc., that you could build. There's a lot of work to do there. That's quite new. Yeah, so and everything's saved into databases, so the game's pulling it all externally. None of it's in the game. So I have very little information in the actual product. It's pulling it all from outside. Hello mate, welcome back. How you doing? So I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to work on today. I might like I said, I've done some work on this today, making it a bit smoother. It runs a lot better when it's been compiled properly and built, the actual, because I'm running a debugger in the background as well, so that's tearing a lot of my CPU. And I don't particularly want to do some more drawing, but I think that's where I'm being pulled at the moment. I think I'm going to have to design a creature of some sort and start playing with the monster code to get monsters in. But who knows, eh? I've also got to design all the skills as well. I keep forgetting that. Got about 100 of those to do probably, and all the buildings. There's going to be hundreds of those. That's going to be a big old job. So if I start a new save file, I'll explain what that is. This is one of the things I'm most interested about this game. It excites me the most. So you start with your island here. It's all going to be explained to you in game, and there's going to be background and stuff. So this is all sort of quite new, but so you have your empty kingdom here, and then you can unlock these as you play through the game to build up your kingdom score. So you could build a blacksmith, for example, build an item shop. So most of these, what the majority of them do is just unlock more score, and by building your score you unlock new levels and new weapons and skills and stuff. And you can also unlock blueprints from here. So I just got unlocked a building 5 blueprint there. Yeah, you can build stuff. You build this entire kingdom, so there's going to be hundreds of things down from these big buildings like these, down to like just here there'll be like trees and a waterfall and stuff like that. Or you'll get over here, there's going to be a massive like steamship port, and all boats are going to come in. And in the shop system, I'm still trying to work out how I'm going to do it, but it's going to be not like how Geo was. So it's not going to be preset shops. It's going to be more of like an open market within the game. So there's only a few items to start with, but everything, so like building this building here, for example, could unlock 2 new items. The blacksmith would open the opportunity to buy different types of weapons. You know, it's just going to be there's going to be loads of tiny little unlocks, but lots and lots and lots of them. So by building tiny little trees here, you'll get a tree that builds here. But all the locations are preset, so you can't go, I want to build a building here. But what it's going to end up with is this huge, complicated, no RNG on the weapons. The weapons are preset by me because it's an Arkanoid game RPG, so it's not so much like a loot finder and things like that. I did toy with the idea of having like items and stuff that have different statistics on them, but like the weapons don't drop. The weapons are unlocked as you go through, and they'll be slightly stronger. But because it's an Arkanoid game, there's a level of skill to the actual game itself. So I kind of wanted to take away the random aspect of it, because if you're relying on skill, it's not really fair to the player to have to rely on a level of skill plus luck at the same time. And I kind of want it to just be a fun game, but with some real depth, you know. Another system I do actually want to work on is I want to have when you unlock stuff, because you're going to unlock stuff all the time, I want to have something slide up from the bottom here, stop, and then queue up. So you click on it and say this is unlocked, this is unlocked, this is unlocked, you know, with big fireworks and stuff. So that's one of the things I want to work on. But yeah, so there's going to be probably a couple of hundred things to unlock on here at least, and you end up with this huge sort of hyper detailed kingdom with all stuff hanging off it, flowers and ships coming in and out, and there's going to be a huge castle palace up the top here that you'll unlock in parts. And yeah, it should be quite cool. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. See, so I've got these two left to build. Let's build those. So there's a little one there underneath. There's going to be like animated stuff on here as well. And you should be able to, you can't do it yet, I'm still going to figure out what information I need to provide the player. But you should be able to click on this kingdom button here, and it'll give you a big complete breakdown of everything you've got. And this is why I wanted to add a population system, so the populace can start saying, oh, we'd really like it if you could build this. And you're thinking, alright, well, they're giving me a hint as to an unlock. So if I can find that blueprint and build it in my kingdom, then I'm going to unlock something new. Don't know what it could be. It could be a new skill. It could be a new weapon. You can also unlock. So in regards to the maps, that's the major unlocks of the maps. So this list of maps here, because it's a whole world of levels, and these are unlocked when you hit big milestones in your kingdom score. So what will happen is you'll get something pop up, and I'm thinking I'm just going to go with the textbook sort of heroes, you know, dungeon heroes will turn up and say, hi, I'm a hero, I want to move to your kingdom and I found this map, and you'll get a whole new map. But also by building tiny little things, you'll get smaller milestones where someone will say, oh, we found a new place in the meadows, and it could, for example, open up a node over here, which would in turn, when you complete it, open this one, which would open this one, and so on. So it's going to be quite a big game. Quite a big game for an Arkanoid game. It's going to be quite big. I'm hoping. It's just a case of doing it now, you know, and adding some Nils working injected's got the soundtrack banging, and it's sounding good. So that's quite exciting. Yeah, so that's where I'm at really. It's just trying to figure out what I'm going to work on next. I might stick in the old colour we just talked about when you destroy the blocks. I might just work on a bit of that, but I tend to try and leave all the effects and special like additions till the end, and just try and get the game working. I've got the basics down, so that's why I've been drawing the islands, because I sort of, yeah. So at the moment the blocks sort of look like they're just dumped anywhere on the screen, which they are, because I'm just sort of for testing purposes. But I intend to have blocks that don't fit the scene, you know. So you still have fences and bushes and stuff, but there's also going to be like solid iron blocks that you can't break, so they're unbreakable. And yes, I am going to have big like pictures, example, that I'll make out of the blocks and things like that. There's also going to be crates and vases that you smash and break, and they can drop coins, and you know, you can use that cash in the shop. That's another thing I've got to do. I wanted to do a crate actually, and the chests in the game as well, but it won't be so much reliant on the patterns like most Arkanoid games. So you know, a lot of Arkanoid games, it just has a background and then the picture's built up of the blocks. Whereas I'm trying to make like an adventure game out of an Arkanoid, so I kind of want a level of like sense to how the levels are laid out. So I might have a fish designed out of bushes, you know, but most of the time it will be like pathways with a fence system, and then, you know, like a nice garden area with roses and stuff, and then you just go in and tear it up. Just tear it up. And the idea is to get rid of all the nightmare blocks, which are the purple ones. Because at the moment I can't do anything, but as soon as I destroyed that one I can move on to the second floor, you know. Yeah, there'll be a hell of a lot of secret levels. There's going to be secret levels. I'm also thinking of having that there's on some levels as well. So secret levels on the map, but I'm also having like the possibility of like underneath this a hole would appear, and you go down the hole and the screen will go black, and you'll go into like a cave zone or something which has got loads of crates in it and loads of enemies and things like that. So that'd be quite nice. If you remember, like in Zelda Ocarina of Time, how you went down the holes, or Golvelius, that you went down holes on that. I like that system. But yeah, I'm also going to have some sort of gameplay blocks, interactive blocks, so ones that you hit that direct you. So you may hit it straight on, but it will send you straight off to the right. Or I'll have, you know, other things that do certain things. I might have blocks that propel you off at speed, you know, things like that. And I'm also thinking of having like ice and fire in it as well, so you can there'll be certain blocks that you can only destroy with the ball set on fire, and some that you can only destroy with the ball when it's frozen. Things like that, little ideas I've got. But there's other mechanics at play as well that I'm going to add. So yeah, ball speed will increase over time. So at the moment it increases with every single block you hit, just because it's really easy to, I just coded that real quick just to test it. But what's going to happen is like most, it'll probably be after like 10 blocks the ball will flash, and then it'll say speed up, and then it'll increase its speed by like 10%, say. So that will happen, but you're also going to have lots of skills down here that you can use that you've, you know, assigned to your weapon. So you could have like a one cast slow the ball back down skill, but you can only use it once per game. And then when you start a game again, you get another go, you know, or you get one that you can shoot fireballs, but you can only shoot 3 per match, things like that. So, and then you can level those. I don't know if I'm going to have you level the skills up yet, but you can get better versions. So, like the first fireball skill will let you shoot 1 fireball, and then the level 2 version will let you shoot 3 and then 5 and so on. Yeah, slow down. Yeah. But as well as having the skills that you can bring in, they'll also drop out of the blocks, like they do in most Arkanoid games. So they'll still have that aspect, you know, and you have to catch it with your paddle. And I'm also trying to think about what I'm going to do with the monsters. So they can't harm the ball. The ball, when the ball hits them, it attacks them. So there'll be like a sword swipe animation when you hit them with the ball. But I'm thinking most of them will attack, so they'll shoot a projectile down, and if it hits your paddle, it will damage the paddle. And enough damage the paddle will disappear, or it will slow down and things like that. Yeah, everyone loves leveling up skills, but the part of leveling up skills is actually having them level up, and then all the information that goes with it. So it's all, I would love to do it, and I'm still thinking about it, but I need to think of a good reason to do it and a good way of making it work, because you can level them up or unlock the level up. That's the system I'm working with. I'm edging more to unlocking the level up version. So you don't earn level 2 fireball by using it. You unlock it by getting somewhere in the game, basically. Okay, cool. No, don't know that one. What's it called? Right. So let's mess around with the block editor, and we'll go and figure out. We'll get these colours working, shall we? Get a little pad out. What do you think so far, Lazar? Think it's looking good? What do you reckon? Block Breaker 3 Unlimited. Okay, I'll check that out. You've actually got a specific phone to play that game, so I take it you like your Arkanoid blockouts then. Alright, so let's look into that. So this is what I mean, so I haven't touched this for a little while, this area, a couple of weeks. Red, blue, what's that, number 2, and this is number 1, is it? Red particle effect, break effect 2, okay. Okay, red, so 6 will be green, 7 will be blue. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, each to their own, man. You sort of get it imprinted in you, don't you? The games that you grew up on, or the ones you started playing. There's always a love there that nothing can ever match up to. You know, because I started off playing, you know, NES and SNES games, so there's nothing that can better them. N64 and stuff, you know. X string red X Y Z. Okay, so Y is block ID and Z is 1. Okay. I bet there are. I bet there are, man. There's good games everywhere on any system, you know, even something obscure and awful. There's probably good games on it at some point. Right. Let's move on to... I'll tell you what we're going to do though before we get going. Is we will back all this up. Last thing I want to do is mess with it, ruin it, and then regret it. Okay, so that's done. Cool. Okay. When does it create there? Create block particle. Okay, so that's being created by a particle effect. This thing here. Let's have a look. Yeah, the NES is sort of when I was very young, NES and the Master System. I do have vague recollections of the Atari and the Spectrum, but I was very, very young. But I do remember them. Okay, so this is being created here. Right. What's this? Why have I got to split that in two? What have I done that for? So that destroys it and adds score. ID of neutral. Okay. Let's Let's do this. Let's get involved. Block type. Are we retrieving the block type at any point? Set block type, yeah, awesome. Okay, here we go. So it's creating that. Oh, for God's sake. So we want to then we need to pull the information from the block database, which will be a string at the moment. So we need to go value string x, y, z. So x5 is red, y is the block reference, z will be 1. Do the same again for the green. Where are you? Oh great, just fucking crashed, didn't it? That's what we need. Let's try that again. It's a good sales pitch there for the product that I do actually recommend. It's very rare that happens. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I did something I didn't like. Let's try another way. Okay. Why didn't it like that? I think it's because it's an internal thing. It doesn't like it. Alright, let me think about this. Got to think about how I'm going to keep it nice and efficient. You know, I don't want to do it in a bad way that's going to cause problems. So let's just let's try again. Okay. Save that. Do the same for that. Let's see what that does. I'll probably have to fiddle around with it a lot, but we'll see if it even works. But no, if it works. If it doesn't, it'll just go black. Oh yeah, so that kind of works. See now the green, purple, red, you know. I think it has an issue with multiples though at the same time, does it? Yeah, so when it hits more than one at a time, it doesn't. What's the problem there? Yeah, so that works alright, doesn't it? And there's going to be other stuff coming off, like I said, so each one will have a particle effect as well as the explosion. I'm not too happy about every now and then one of them goes white, and I don't know why. See see that? Every now and then there's a white one every now and then. I need to figure out why. I think it's when more than one's hit at exactly the same time, so I need to split that off, but no, it'll do for now. I can work on that later. But it looks nice, doesn't it? It's nicer. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. It's one job done. 100,364,722 jobs left to go, but we're getting there. Right, let me just shut my window, bear with me. Noisy neighbours. Right, save that. Okay, so that's one job down. Let's start on this this particle effect editor. Let's figure this out. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with this? Don't know how I'm going to work on this one. Tomato crap. Alright, let's move on. Save that. Where's my properties gone? There we go. Alright, let's have a mosey through there, see what needs working on. So, this is kind of working. Working enough anyway. So you see how many slots it's got, etc. How much damage tooltips. People love a tooltip. I've been getting shouted at for not having enough in Geo. I won't make that mistake again. I'll put more in this one. But I also plan to have levels as well. I think they're going to be called one-shots for now. And they're going to be super hard. And you only get the opportunity to launch the ball once. They're going to be cool. Okay, let's have a look at it again. So. I don't know why it's doing that white. Why is it doing that? I'm going to have to figure out what's causing that bug, because it's bugging me. It's bugging me. Oh. Yeah. Alright, let's find out what's doing that. Let's have a look. Okay. So one of these are created on death. So that's created. Destroy. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be. I think that's working right. I think the issue's in here. I think it's going to be to do with this. Yeah, I know, but it is there. I can see it. I can see it, and it's bothering me, and I don't know what's causing it. Base effect. So it's running the base effect. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll change that loop to a for each loop. For you. We'll replace that. It's for you. See if that makes a difference. It might be because when it's creating more than one at a time, yeah, it's only a split second, but if it's damaging 2 blocks at the same time, that split second might be confusing it. Have we done it? Have we done it? Looks like it. Not seeing any white ones. Just grey and yeah, nice, fixed. Happy days. Lovely little bug fix there. Cool. That's working. That's easier than I thought, actually. I was worried about that then. So while you're here, Lazar, you seem like an Arkanoid pro. What would you like to see in this game? What would you like? I don't know about the master. I've been using this for 15, going back to Click and Play. You're talking, I don't even know when that was. I got it on a free copy on a magazine, some demo when I was just a kid, and ever since then, I'm by no means the best by any stretch, but I know my way around it. I'm very much looking forward to. They got Fusion 3 coming out this year supposedly, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. So this may be the last game I make in Fusion 2.5. I'm hoping it is actually, but yeah, let's work on the second particle effect. So we're going to use the same creator, but we need to figure out what types of particle effects we're going to have. We're going to have the leaves, we're going to have splinters, we're going to have chips. Are you familiar with Fusion, are you, Lazar? Which ones, specifically? Which ones do you like? Okay. Yeah, I want to add loads of stuff like that into this. It's going to be a very effects-heavy game because it's an Arkanoid game at its core. You need to. I think I want to sort of really lay it on thick with the special effects and stuff. Like I want to have it snowing when you're in the snow world and stuff like that. And I want to have sort of like the effects I had at the base of Geo, things like that, but a little bit subtle, not quite as crazy because that would just ruin it. But I want to have nice little things, And I would even like to have. I've been thinking about having a day and night cycle in the kingdom screen. So the sun comes up and goes down behind your kingdom. I don't know if I'm going to pull that off just yet because that's a big job and it's only a visual thing. But it'd be cool, wouldn't it, if it was just getting dark and stuff, and then the lights come on inside the buildings and things. That'd be well nice. Have two states, day and night. That'd be cool. That would be cool, actually. The more I talk about it, the more I think I'll do it. Right, let's do a particle effect. See, I've kept the confetti, the old confetti from Geo's coming straight back in. Yeah, that will happen. You'll actually be able to unlock in the game, like I said, you can get passive abilities and cast abilities. The cast abilities are going to be harder to get, but you will be able to get the cast ability to split the ball. Yeah, every single ball. It'll split every ball. I'll do that. That's cool. But so you'll be able to take that ability in with you. You'll only be able to use it like one cast per level or per try. But if you get the level 2 version, you can do it twice, and level 3 3 times, and so on. And you just slot them into your weapon, you know. But you may get a passive skill that gives you like a 5% chance for your ball to split. And if you slot that in, then there's a 5% chance it could happen at any point. Let alone if you got the power up or anything, it could just split in half. So that's definitely going in. I really want to start digging into the monsters and fighting system. Cheers, man. That's something I need to start, because I think that's the next massive job I've got with this game, is to get that working nice. Because then it needs to integrate with all the EXP system and leveling up, and because I don't know about leveling up your skills, because you'll level up your character, because you're the king of your kingdom, and you'll get to level up and some of the skills. So you might unlock a skill, but you won't be level enough to use it. So it'll all be linked to your level, and obviously your damage goes up. So I don't know. I'm going to look into some RPG maths. It's been a while since I've done that, so I have to figure out how they do damage, because I want to keep it nice and simple. So you're just talking solid numbers, so 2 damage plus your level damage, so I don't know, whatever that is, and then so even the shittest weapon will be good if you're high level, But the enemies will. I'm not going to trigger them so that they increase with your level, but further in the game they'll get harder. And I'm also going to put. I had a cool idea for like monster den maps. So if you just want to grind, you could get like so say you completed this one, you get another level here, and you might get a den here. It will look similar, but it'll have a different image on it. And you go there, and it's like Arkanoid again, but there's just tons of enemies. It's just going to be hitting with a ball, just hitting with a ball. So you just hit them, and then it's going to just like sword swipe them, like across the enemy, and it does damage, and it will, recoil. I did think about having it go to an actual fight system, but I think that could detract from the actual gameplay itself. I think it's cool to just have the ball bouncing, and if you get the ball stuck between an enemy and the top of the screen, it'll just be going bang, 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 doing loads of damage, and you can hit criticals, and then you can have passive abilities that you can slot in your weapon that give you like a 10% chance to hit a critical, and then you can stick in another passive one that increases your critical hits by 50% and things like that, So there could be levels that are quite easy to complete the level, but the monsters are hard, and things like that. And so I was also thinking bringing back. Yeah, that's it. So they were going to do different things. So that I was going to have like a turtle enemy, and if you hit it, great. But if it goes in its shell and you hit it, it's going to knock the ball off, like increase the speed of your ball and things like that. But I was also thinking bringing back monster cards from Sweezy Gunner. So there's a chance that the monsters drop monster cards, and then you unlock like new blueprints, so a new building. So if you complete, say, the turtle build card, you'll get a blueprint to build like a turtle statue in your kingdom, and you get all these different statues and things from every single creature. So if you can be bothered to go through it all, not only do you get the extra kingdom score from having the statues, but you get all the statues, and things all over your kingdom, which would be cool. And obviously the kingdom score going up unlocks new weapons, unlocks new levels, so it just keeps on building, That's the plan. I'm hoping to make, because I like an Arkanoid game, Cheers, man. Who doesn't like an Arkanoid game? You just build it up and up and up, you know. I realise I'm not actually working, but it's good to talk it out. You know, I usually talk through my development with my my older brother. I just chew his ear off day in day out until I come to a decision on what I'm doing. Because it's quite lonely sitting on your own. Just you've got no one to bat ideas off. You know, you need to speak. It's very important. But this is by no means is it going to be an easy game. It's not going to be a simple, you know, Arkanoid game. It's going to be hard. You know, the ball's going to be slightly faster than most. It's going to take a little bit of skill. It ain't going to go this fast. This is probably a little bit excessive, but yeah. But yeah, it's coming along nice actually. I'm quite pleased. Okay, so let's start fucking around with some blocks. So we'll go for the first one. Will just be chips. Second effect could be leaves, splinters, and then we'll have stars. And we'll have confetti, because everyone loves confetti. So what you're going to be able to do in a second, hopefully when I've done it, so for this one for example, not only is it going to have a grey effect, you'll then be able to pick chips and then choose the colour of the chips, and then like 10 or maybe 8 chips will come out in different angles of the colour that I pick. So that should set it off quite nice. So for example, I could pick this one. It'll have a purple cloud, and then I could have red stars come out of it and things like that. I did also toy with the idea of having different sized tiles, you know, large and small. But I don't know if I'm going to bother. I don't think it needs it. Because unlike most Arkanoid games, it actually has enough visual impact just from being itself, rather than having to create patterns and images with the tiles, you know. Well, what do you mean? I was thinking about having like you can get like a wall appears at the bottom and stuff, and it can take like 3 hits before it disappears and things like that. If that's what you mean. I was also thinking of having a shield that, you know, you can get a shield for your paddle as well. So if you get hit by an enemy, it doesn't take damage. But in relation to damage to your paddle, I was going to keep it easy. I think 3 hits and it's gone. You know, or unless you get a passive ability that gives you an extra piece of health, so 4 hits and it's gone, you know. Yeah, save wall, yeah. But I was thinking of having different types, you know, depending on your level. So you can get like a level 1 save wall that's got just the 2 corners, you know, the right and the left, and the middle's gone. But then you can get level 3 one, you know, level 2 one, which covers the whole thing, and level 3 one that's got even more health and it's bigger, you know, and chunkier. That sort of thing. You know, and it gives the player a choice as well when they get sort of end game and they're going into like a 10 floor monster level and they've only got 3 lives to do the whole 10 floors, and they can think, right, what am I going to need here? I'll take, you know, 3 fireballs, I'll take a defensive wall, I'll take this, you know, and I'll also chuck in some passive abilities to give me this and this. So that's what I'm hoping I can achieve. But it's going to be quite tricky, but we'll get there. Okay, so that's the basics in. So we need to figure out what chips and stuff are going to look like. It's a problem. I need another monitor now that I'm streaming. I've got 2 monitors and it's not enough. I need a third because I want to go over to Photoshop now, but that's on my tablet where all my streaming stuff is. Okay. Well, let's just go over to it anyway, because I'm going to have to design a rock. Okay, should go over here. Shut you down. Yeah, some strategy to it, because there's not usually a lot of strategy to an Arkanoid game, is there? It's a very unprofessional. Show me OBS. But there you go. What can you do? Oh, bear with me. I am still working. I'm just setting up the actual file for drawing. There's no point. I need to bring up some blocks, so I've got the sizes right. Okay. So there's the bush, full size. Again, so that's 120 by 120 pixels, the actual bush, but I shrink down to 40 by 40. So all the tile, the actual blocks that you hit are 40 by 40, but I'm only using this as a template for my particles, so I know how big to make them. There we go. Let's have a go. So to start off, I'm going to do stone chips. Sorry about that. We'll design a few little particles while I'm here. So these are also going to have, so they're going to spin and shrink and stuff when you hit a block. But it's little effects like that really set off a game, you know. Easily overlooked if you're trying to rush out a game. All the little things that make it look good. See, I'm holding back. I need to be a bit less of a wuss with my lines. There we go. So like for example, when you destroy a rock, that'll come flying out. I need to fix that. Doesn't look quite right. There we go. Thing is with my development is it's very graphics heavy, because that's where my personal, I believe, and I don't know if anyone else agrees, but it's where my skills lie. So I rely a lot on the graphics. Obviously, I also don't believe in releasing a game that's not finished. I'm not an early access fan personally. I think, you know, if anyone wants to go for it, then that's their thing. But I like my games to be solid. So as much as I am not the best programmer in the world, I do my best, but I work over and over and over again to make sure there's no issues. You know, I don't want to be day one patching and things like that. I prefer to get it out there, get it done, bang. You know, that's me. So this is your this is where it gets interesting, because I've got to colour it. Why are you not working? Because I'm on a razor. I have to design all the particles in white, which is strange, but never thought about that. That's a good idea, actually. What? So like, there's like an area of the levels blocked off, and once you've released the ball, it joins you and starts going all over the place as well. Is that what you mean? Because if that is, I really like that. That's a really cool idea. Yeah, that's it. See, I wanted to have cages with people in it to unlock, but I like that. I really like that idea. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. So the reason I'm designing the particles in white and grayscale is for You could be like my consultant. Yeah. But you'll definitely have to test it, mate, when it's up and running and it's really going, and give me some feedback then if you know what you're talking about, and you seem to know exactly what you're talking about with these games. So hit me up and I'll definitely get you involved with the testing. Okay, from the ball. Yeah, I would love to sort of. I kind of want all the power ups to go one after another on top of each other, so it just goes crazy. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you should do, man. I'd appreciate that if you'd want to take a look at it. It's probably going to be a little while before it's properly playable because there's no content in it. It's mainly all just engine stuff that I've been working on. But once that's all down and I start chucking in level after level and new weapons and all this business, then yeah, hell yeah. And anyone else who's joined the room, welcome. Just working on my newest game, Dreamstones. And I'm currently designing particle effects. Okay. I should probably not make that white because that'll just be too bright. Yeah, that'll be right. I don't know, I should expect too much like a cube. I don't know why I've done that. Okay, we'll sort it out. Also, the music's playing now. That's the original soundtrack for Geo. So if you're enjoying the sounds. Nice. Yeah, man, I like it. So this is one of the ideas of this concept that I really wanted to run with. Is because it's set in a dream world. Absolutely anything goes. That's sort of exactly what I'm aiming for. I like a bit of crazy in my games. So I'm going to have like it might start off pretty sound, but then it's just going to go mental. You'll get weird maps to like crazy like worlds full of made out, like all the platforms have been made out of like sweets and chocolate bars and biscuits, and there might be another map where everything's made out of God knows what. Do you know what I mean? So it's just mayhem, but all deeply coloured and covered in enemies and blocks, and that's the plan. No, I know exactly what you mean. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Alright. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Drawing like an absolute fool. Okay. Bit darker perhaps. I don't want the lines to be too pronounced in the middle because it'll look weird at scale. Okay, so we'll go with that as the stone particle for now, like the chip. I don't know, it just looks weird. Let me try again. Let's try again. I think I'm worrying too much about detail. That's where I'm going wrong here. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll delete this because it's looking a bit cack, and we'll start again over on this one. Much better. Right. Because when I shrink that down, there's going to be no detail in that whatsoever, so I'll get myself all worked up over nothing. Trying to be all clever. Which is not something I need to do. Yeah, I know, I did actually think about that. I've seen some cool stuff in some other Arkanoid games, but yeah, you start talking about physics and things and my brain just turns to mush. Sorry about that. Photoshop. Okay. Right. So that's quite cool. We'll save that for now. Where are we going to put it? Particles. Particle effects. Here we go. We'll save that as effect creator. Okay, how does that work? Oh, so it sort of pulls things into itself and then explodes outwards. Is that what you're talking about? I was thinking about having explosions similar to how geos work. So you have ones that go left to right, some that go up to top to bottom, some that have sort of like a proximity. Okay, so I'm happy with that one. We'll call that chip. Alright, let's start another one. We're going to do... We'll do a leaf next, which is sort of going to be just... I'll get the shape right. Yeah, sort of that shape. Cool. We'll make that a bit bigger actually, it's a bit small. No, I don't like that bit at the end. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Well, I was also thinking of having clicking abilities, so they're really rare but for example, you can literally click somewhere, like a God Hand ability, you know. That was an idea I had. Or you know, like the Iron Donkey from Worms. Was it called the Iron Donkey? Something like that. Where you could just drop it and it just lands where you click, you know. So you obviously have the bat and ball doing its business, but you can also get involved yourself a little bit. Bend the world to your will, as it were. All right, so there's me chip. We'll cool. Stick my mask in. So I'm thinking of designing this one actually green, and then you can fiddle with it. Actually, no, I won't. I can always come back and edit these. But thanks everyone for dropping by. I'll probably be streaming till about 5ish, maybe 20 past 5 or something like that. But I'm going to try and come back again on tonight. Actually, I really need to start getting cracking with this game. Geo seems quite stable at the moment, and there's a few little bugs that I'm trying to iron out. But so most of my attention's on this at this precise moment in time. So I'm going to be trying to bang out as much as I can, as quickly as I can. That's too light, isn't it? What am I playing at? There we go. Tell you what, we'll do those two for a sec. We'll stick with those. So it turns into like a game of Pong, almost. Is that what you mean? Because that's cool. I like that. Okay. Tell you what, back in about a minute, if that. Bear with me, I just need to grab something. And I am back. Hello. All right. So yeah, we're going to work with these now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is come back over to the main screen. Oh, apologies for that. Something I'm new to Twitch, so I still need to figure out how all that's done moving around. But there you go. So we're back in business. If anyone's got any tips, Twitch related tips, then I'm all ears. Okay, so let's shrink this down to its size. Okay, so there's the particles, pretty much identical. That was clever, wasn't it, Ant? All right, but we'll work with that for now. They're probably going to be too small. Actually, I might want to make them a bit bigger, innit? But we'll see. We can at least get them in and the code in, and then work on the graphics afterwards, can't we? That's the sensible way of doing things. Right. Tiny, look at them. Tiny. Okay, so there's your leaf. That's a leaf particle. We'll call that leaf 1. And there's your stone chip. So we'll call that chip 1. Alright, let's bring this back up. We're going to block editor. Stick an object in. Go back to particles. Okay, so chips first. There it is. Tiny. And then leaf. We'll take those out for now, so we've got 2 at least. Call that par. Particle list. So we want to always make sure that that is see if that works, shall we? So, okay, chips, leaves. Nope, it's not working properly. But you can change the colour of them at least, look. So they're the particles that will come flying out and they'll be animated. So, you know, if you've got a green bush, green leaves. If you've got a red bush or an orange bush, orange leaves. So that's going alright. I don't know why that's not working. But we'll find out. Force animation frame to list select. Ah, -1. That'll be why. Because the first animation frame is 0, not 1. So chips, leaves, chips, leaves. So boop. So leaves. We'll go with that colour. So for this one, you would want leaves, wouldn't you? And then you can stick green up there. We'll bring in a bit of red, just so they're not too green. A little bit of blue. Should we see if that actually saves? I don't know if I put the save code in. Yeah, so there you go. So now the database has that information that this drops leaves, and that's the RGB of those leaves. What I'll do is I'll go into the game. I'll add those to the block destroy particle effect generator, and then I'll also add effects to these. So when they come out, they spin and fall to the ground, you know, or they disappear after a certain amount of time. And I'll give the chips a different behaviour, but they'll still be created the same way. They'll just have a different behaviour. And I might even chuck in a little bit of random, so like it might drop 6. It might chuck out 6 particles. It might chuck out 4 particles. You know, just to liven it up a little bit. So this would have the same sort of leaves, but these could be, because it's got little yellow flowers on it. You could technically go for like a little yellowish yellowish leaf. Why not? What's this? Is that going to be grey? Like where's my yellow gone? Yeah, so they could chuck out like that colour leaves, you know, for this one. I'll do splinters and yeah, leaf. Leaf it to the professionals. Yeah. Okay, we'll save that, and then we can at least test those, can't we? Then we'll give the stone block a chip. And they're going to be grey. Make it a bit darker, I suppose. A bit of blue in there. Oh no, that's too blue. So that's black down there. We don't. Cool. Save that. So now that's got green leaves. That drops blue, grey stones. Awesome. Right. So move on. Go back to the zone. Right. Blocks. So I want to work on this layer. Alright, let's have a quick look in this. As always, stop animations over, destroy. Okay, we don't want to play with that. Because these aren't going to be animated, they're going to be... Well, they are, but they're going to be animated through programming. We'll do leaf first. Stick it in the middle. There we go. Got that little name. We'll call that particle leaf 1. No, we're not. We're going to call that particle 1. Because what we're going to do is create the particles by name based on their ID in the database. So if I go back to the database, where are you? Block database. So the ID of chips is 1. The ID of leaves is 2. So what I'm going to do is on destruction of the blocks, I'm going to call the object with the name of particle underscroll and then its ID, which will be particle underscroll 1, particle underscroll 2. So I only have to put in one line and then it should populate the rest for me. Which is the glory of programming. Make the damn computer do the work. I'll call it particle underscroll 1. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll just give it a really simple def spiel. Let's get out of there actually. So we'll give this a value of life timer. And then simply always add 1 to the life timer. Life timer is greater than, let's go with 100, it dies, it's gone. So that way now we know we're not going to bog up the computer's memory with a load of bloody particles that don't decay. Yeah, man. Well, this is what I'm excited about. It's why I love I'm really in love with the project because I can literally do whatever the hell I want. You know, there is, and that's why I've gone with the theme of dreams as well because you know, and it's all floating islands. It can literally do whatever I want. And as a game designer, you know, that's awesome. As long as I can keep myself grounded, because it's very easy to get too overexcited and go absolutely mental, you know, which is never good. Which is never good, but I can't see that happening. Plus, I've got my my brother who controls me on a daily basis. Tells me, "What are you doing that for? What are you putting that in there for?" That's what he says to me. Don't do that. Keep it simple. Everyone needs someone like that around. Okay. Right. Let's test this out. So this is the particle creator. So every time a block's destroyed, this is created. It's invisible, so you won't be able to see it. But this is where it controls all the particle effects and stuff. So, and this is the particle code. So we also want it to create several particles. So we'll stick. We'll go with particle gen, and this is going to randomly pick a number between like 1 and 8. Between like 4 and 8, so it'll create between 4 and 8 particles on destruction. So on this loop, what does it do? It also needs to set particle gen to random. We'll set that to random. How many do we want? So random 4 and then plus 4. So it's always going to be 4 plus random 4. So random 0 to 3. So we actually need to make that random 5. Okay, there we go. We'll move that up to here. I don't know, I might be playing with fire here, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm going to start putting the loops within loops. So, and I'm doing it inside an object. I don't know how Fusion's going to handle that. Should be alright, but we're about to find out. Because it's now going to start. Okay, how am I going to do this? Oh no, we can just do a normal loop. I hope. Because this isn't for each loop. That's going to loop just for this one. And then within that one it's going to do. We'll try it. Start loop. Particle. Drop. So that's the name of the loop. And we're going to do this. It's going to run this loop this many times. Okay. So it's going to particle drop. It's going to run it particle gen times. And the particle gen is going to be anywhere between 4 and 8 particles. Okay, and then on loop particle gen, and this is where we slap the code. It's going to create object by name. Alright, this is where you need to bear with me here, because this is where I need to check some numbers. Yeah, this is such an awesome track. It really is. What's it called? This is atmospheric. I don't think it's actually called atmospheric in the game. I think it's got another name. Might be called atmospheric. I can't remember. Yeah, he really did, man. He really did. Do you want to hear some of the stuff that we've been working on? Well, he was working on yesterday. I'm just sort of sitting there giving my opinion, and maybe I'd say a little bit of direction, but he knows what he's doing. But yeah, it's going to be nice. So there's a lot more instruments, should we say, in the next soundtrack. Okay, so back to this. So our particle drop, but we need to know where it's pulling that ID from. So we need to go back to block editor. Let's have a look. Because it's going to be this number here, which is particle effect ID. And we'll see where we're saving that. So particle effect ID is being saved. There we go. That's 8. So, alright. And then 9, 10 and 11 are red, green and blue. Particle. Y is block. Alright. So I better create the second one. So it's particle 2. And that's your chip. So we'll stick the image in. There we go. They look a bit similar. I will work on that. I'll sort that out in a bit, but at least we've got the images in. Didn't take long. Okay, on loop particle drop. Create object by name. Okay, enter the name of the object to create. So it was particle, and then it was under scroll, and then we're going to go with plus, and then it's going to pull the name of that block, which is the string. No, we don't need to do string because it's a string array. It's a string from X, Y, Z, and X was 8, Y from the database is the block type, and then 1. So that should provide the name relative to U. 0, 0. Okay. Right. Fingers crossed. That should work. But we'll stick a real basic movement on these for now. Because Fusion, like a lot of these other editors... Oh, did he stick another one up, did he? Oh, good for him. Yeah, he is a music machine, and he's very, very talented. He's pumping them out. He's a good guy, man. Really? I need to check out this Rift Racer. I've never played it. So I take it it's procedurally generating tracks based on the soundtrack, or on the music you're playing. Is that right? Because that sounds awesome. Sort of like, was it Rez? It was a game a long time ago, wasn't it? Rez or something like that. Okay, so we're going to give these a real cheap movement, real cheap, just to make sure that they're being created. So it's going to look odd. I know it's going to look odd, but we're just going to chuck it in for now so we can make sure that they're actually being created and destroyed. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. I've got such a long list of games to play. It's a real shame. I've said it before. I spend most of my time making them. I don't really have time to play them as much as I wish I could. I was even thinking about doing, because I play a lot of PC games, I might as well start streaming them as well, because I'm really enjoying this, you know. Alright, let's see what happens. Let's see if it crashes and everyone and the world explodes. Come on. So when you hit these, it should be a load of grey. Nothing happened. Hooray. So that didn't work. I'm going to check my debugger, see if there are any in existence to make sure they're not being. Okay, so that didn't work at all. Let's find out why. Particle drop. Alright, give me a minute, let's have a look at this. That's the particle ID, block type. That's being created at that. Oh yeah, hue not working. Okay, let's try and fiddle around with this. Let's move this up a bit. Move it up there. See if that makes any difference. I think it might be an issue with. I'll have to do a little test in a minute if this is not working, just to make sure. Yeah, so I don't actually think it's creating the objects. That's the issue at the moment. Oh no, that did. There we go. Alright, so that worked. Let's find out why it's not working on all of them, shall we? Saw that sneaky little... Nope, we want to hit the rocks, please. God's sake. Right. Okay, so that worked. Didn't look very good, but it worked. Yep, it's working. Obviously, we'll work on the actual particle effect in a minute, but okay. So there. It's creating leaves. Why? Why? Right. So we're in business a little bit. Yeah, at the moment they will just slide around. Like I said, once I've got them being created properly, I'll start adding some. I'll work on the actual control of the actual particle itself. So once I'm happy that they're being created and destroyed correctly, I'll start making them move like they should. But at the moment, I just want them to work. Yeah, they will. They will hop out of the block, and I might even give them like a bit of a physics effect, so they sort of come out and fall down, and then die out. But as it stands right now, I just need to make sure that they're being made correctly. That'll be my issue, I think. Is it? Yeah. So for some reason, I've decided to put a space between the underscroll and the number, which is any good. But yeah. So it's all it all builds up to the final product. You know, you have to get it working first before I start worrying about what it looks like. Okay, so leaves. Was that leaves? You're creating the wrong one. What the hell's that about? That's 1, 2. Oh, right. Am I an absolute fool? I think I may be a fool. Yeah. Just got the IDs around the wrong way. What an absolute spanner. Colour me embarrassed. So you're actually particle 1, so we'll name you 2 first. And then we'll stick you as 1. Rocky leaves, yeah, man. Here we go. Should work now. We should be getting the right ones coming out and random numbers. This is the problem. I've got to try and count the particles now to make sure that they're being created between 4 and 8. So let's have a look. Okay, yeah, so they're coming out. Leaves, that was leaves, wasn't it? Yeah, leaves. And let's try stones. Yep. So there was 5 stones that time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. Oh, that's just chance, perhaps. 1, 2, 3. Which is interesting, considering I gave it a minimum of 4, but we'll worry about that another time. They must have been right on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, yeah, so it's working now. Happy with that. Alright, let's start making it look good. Let's give it a pinball. The hell? Right. So Fusion comes with some really great inbuilt movements. I'm not one for redesigning the wheel by any means. I think it's a fool's errand. If it doesn't need to be done, don't do it. These are good enough. Let's go with a speed of love of God. So we only really want them coming upwards. Alright, let's try that. Okay. Might be a little bit rapid, so we don't want fast. That's just going to fall though, isn't it? So I need to give it less gravity. Maybe a bit more. Right. Stick that over there. What did we go for? 15, 30. Right. Let's see if that looks a bit more realistic. That's the only issue with, because I'm not building any of my frames. Hang on, what's going on here? Hang on, bear with me. Yeah. So because I'm not building my levels internally, I can't quick test things too easily. So that looks shit. But it looks pretty good on the rocks. So that's one thing we can work on at least. I'll have to, obviously I don't want them to look like that because it looks a bit silly, but it's a bit better. They don't need to last half as long as that. That's long life 100. $25 might be a bit better. Okay, that's a bit better. A bit shorter. But don't want lengthy particle effects because it'll just confuse. It'll just dazzle and confuse. Yes, that's looking all right. Don't think the particles are coming out in the right place though, are they? Just let that die. So. No, they're coming out from the bottom right, so we don't want any of that business. See if that's a bit better. Yeah, they will do. They will do. It just takes a while to build it up to get it to look right. You just fiddle with it until you get it looking nice. And obviously, I'm going to put some more in a minute so that they're rotating, so they're at different angles, and I'm going to get them coming out at different sizes. And obviously, I've got to put the colour in as well, and they'll move at different speeds. So I'm going to put a lot of random into the particle, so it looks nice. Doesn't look so structured. Because at the moment they all come out at the same speed and go the same distance, which is not what I want. But yeah, so it's looking all right. yeah, particles coming straight out the middle, so that's cool. But as you can see, they're a bit structured at the moment. So if anyone's interested in making particle effects, it's not that difficult. Once you understand the premise behind it, you just tweak it and tweak it until, so with a few little tweaks, you can make, you know, lots of shit happen. But now I've just found out I've posed myself a dilemma, which is because I'm creating the particles by name, I don't actually know which particle is being created. I do, but in order to change the object's colour, I need to have the object. Okay. Right. So what we may do in that instance is actually hand colour the particles and just have several, maybe 10 or 15 throughout the whole game. That's probably what I'll do. Alright. Okay. I'll tell you what, bear with me, I need to get a drink. All this talking is drying me out. Give me 2 seconds. And I am back. Cheers for waiting. Let's have a drink. So yeah, I'm going to have to rethink that. I've got being created by name, but I'm going to have trouble recolouring them by name. I don't believe that's something I can achieve without huge amounts of effort. And for something like that, that effort is not necessary. So, let's go back. Hello. We'll colour these in. But for now we won't bother. We'll work on the game. Yeah, it was actually. I'm always interested to know what indie games people are excited to hit to see. What ones are you looking for? Okay, Grip. Is that a racing game, or am I thinking of something else? I've still got the new Shantae. Is it Shantae? I don't know how you pronounce it. Shantae, the one. I've got to play that. I was thinking of streaming that one. Yeah, I know the ones, yeah. Okay, yeah, Grip, yeah. Nice. Awesome, man. Right, where were we? She was creating this particle. Right. I'm going to think about the best way to do this, because I'm also going to have trouble because it may actually be possible to colour it. If I pass the information from this to each particle, and each particle has, if it knows the block it's come from, then I should be able to do it. Let's try it. Why not? Block type. So when it creates, when this thing creates a particle, again, I'm going to struggle there. Yeah, it was a cool game, man. I used to really enjoy Vigilante 8. Don't know if you remember that on the N64. There was two of them, really great games. There was sort of like Twisted Metal, which was also a game I enjoyed. I've never been a huge racing fan, but I did. There's some ones I like. I like Burnout Paradise. I really enjoyed that. That was a great game. I like games with a bit more than you expect, you know. So like Burnout, the original Burnouts, yeah, great. You know, you're going real fast to la. Burnout Paradise just took it to a different level. It's a shame that they didn't work more on that idea, because they could have done a lot with it. They did do a lot with it, you know, but they could do a lot more. Welcome to the room, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. I'm just figuring out how to best create particles, you know. Yeah, Paradise was good, man. It was such a great game. So I've got myself in a bit of a pickle here, but we'll be all right. So I might have to hard code each particle in each type anyway, just to give it a little bit of give myself a bit more control. But we'll see. So we'll try it the other way around. Particle type. Okay, so this is a less efficient way of doing it, but I'm coming up against the wall my way, because I'm creating the particles by name. So I could have 100 particles, but then I'm going to have trouble controlling the individual particles after creation. So what we'll do, we'll get rid of this business. We're going to grab the information from the database about what particle it wants. So we got a block data. So we need to create value string. Okay, and the particle data is at 8, and it's also at the value of the block type, and then 1. Here we go. So that thing should know what particle type to create. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've never been. I enjoyed them. Racing games seem to me just get from here to here, and I get frustrated when the computer cheats. Okay, so we're getting somewhere now. So it's being told particle type. So it knows the particle type, and then it starts the loop for dropping the particles. So now it needs to create particles based on that number. So there we go. So what we're going to have to do now, like I said, it's less efficient, but it should work. Particle type equals 1. So if it's 1, it will create a flower, a leaf. If it's 2, it will create that. Again, it's not as elegant as creating them by name and dealing with them that way, which would be a lot easier, but ho hum. What was 1? It was chips, wasn't it? It's creating it relative to that, and it was 20 minus 20. No, not plus 20, minus 20. Hello. Okay. Let's try another, and then if it's 2, it should create the other one, which is what have I already got? What's this? Get myself all turned around. Particle 2. Okay, yeah. Right. Huzzah! Right, see if that works. So if I have 15 particle types, I have to put 15 lines of code in. This game's it's not overly heavy on the computer, so on the processor, so it should be all right. Oh, come on, work. Yeah, so that worked. Leaves. Let's just make sure it's producing stones as well. Oh yeah. Oh, you're going to produce me some stones. Let's have a look. Yay! Everyone's a winner. Cool. So now I can mess around with each one without any real problems. So particle 1. Let's go with colour. Actually, we'll save because last time I did this colour bit, it crashed, didn't it? I don't want that happening again. Effects. Okay, so this should be 9 values. Hello, block type, and then 1. And green. Same again, but this time it's 10. U. And then 1. And then blue is the value in the string x11. Y reference is the block type. And then Z reference is 1. Yeah, so that's quite a meaty piece of code there, for a meaty line just for a particle, but hopefully it won't cause any problems. If it does, I'll have to think out another way of doing it. I'm trying to do it quite robust so that I can add lots of different effects really easily. That's what I'm trying to aim for. So there's a lot of trial and error. With Sweezy Gunner, the effects were so simple. They were literally die, create this, and that was it. So, and then Geo is a little bit more complex. This is a lot more complex than Geo, but only in the fact that it makes things easier for me in the long run if I can get the code right in the first instance. Yeah, I will make some mud particles. Yes, I will, because you know I like me mud. We all like the mud. And if I'm going to do any stones, I need to put a bit of red in it. Get a bit of red on it. Okay, so let's check that they're going nice and colourful when they're coming out. Obviously the stone ones won't, which is a bit silly. I'm going to test that now, but because stones are grey and the image is grey, but we can do the grass at least. Come on, please be green. Huzzah! So we've got green leaves coming out now. And we should have grey stones coming out. Just die, will ya? Yeah, grey stones, green leaves. Everyone's a winner. Cool. So that's awesome. What we'll also do is, so this is the line where it's being created, and just to add a little bit of interest, we'll go into the actual leaf itself, and we'll always scale, set angle, value, effect. Where is it? Scale and angle. Get angle +1, and we'll do it at maximum speed, so we're not too much worried about the quality. Yeah, well, this is it, layer after layer after layer, just keep going and going and chugging away, and all of a sudden you sit back and think, good God, I've just made a video game, you know, it's awesome. I cannot recommend it enough. So now these should be spinning when they come flying out. We'll do the same for that. Have a quick look. Nope. Were they spinning? I think they're spinning so slowly you can't see. Christ's sake. Right. Made them spin so slowly you can't even see them spinning. What a fool am I? Yeah, because it's only got 25 life and it's gonna span 25 degrees. So we really want it to be. Let's go with 5. See what that does. So we've just stuck that on the leaf, so the stone ones will still be the same, but we'll have a look at the leaf. For anyone just tuning in, I am working on particle effects. Yay! Spinning. Alright. Let's see if there's more bushes up here. Yeah, there we go. There's a big chunk here. So we can have a good look. Let's have another look. Yeah, nice. Cool. Let's work on that a little bit more. So they're still spinning, but they're very regimented, aren't they? Which is something we want to work on. So we will start messing with it some more. So instead of setting the angle to itself +5, so we'll go +5, and then plus random. We'll stick 5 in there as well. So now it should be 5 plus random 5, so they should spin at slightly different speeds. We will also, we want to get rid of this. We want to make that a little bit higher. We're going to go with 40, but what we will do is we will set its visibility so it's not, it doesn't just appear and disappear. We'll try and make it vanish nicely. Alright, so let's go and have a look at the leaves. So they now should be spinning slightly different speeds, and they should also fade out rapidly, but they'll fade out rather than just vanish. What do you mean come out randomly? Yeah, so it's looking better already. So what we're going to do after that is we're going to fiddle with the speeds and stuff like that, so they don't come out in this perfect arc. So they sort of come out at different levels. Because obviously, you know, it's starting to take shape, but it's still a bit stiff. Bit stiff. We don't want it. We don't want it stiff. That's what she said. Terrible, terrible. Oh, here we go. Give me some bush. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's looking good. Alright. Okay, so that's the internal code for the leaves, but because we're creating them, they have, what's their standard speed of 30. So the initial speed's 30. So what we'll do is we will play 30. So we're going to go with a distance of 40 is the biggest speed, and the lowest we should have is 10. So that's a play area of 30. Let's do that. Okay, so we need to movement, set his speed to 10 plus random, and we'll stick 30 in there. Actually no, we'll make it 25 and 15. So it's still 40. And we'll just bracket the whole thing just to make it a single solid number with no confusion. And that should look a little bit more chaotic is the word I'm looking for. But so once I've got the leaves down, I can then work on the others, you know. There you go. So now they're not so stiff in their creation. So they should. That's looking about right now, isn't it? Boom. Boom. What do we think of that? Thoughts? So the leaves, look, bow. Nice little effect. So we're going to have different ones for each one, for every single block, but there'll be a generic set. So there might be like 10 or 12 different particles that I can change the colours, etc. And but the actual, there'll be like ones for leaves, one for chips. That's looking quite good. I'm quite happy with that. Cheers, man. Awesome. Hey, little things like that, they just cheer me up. It's such an awesome feeling. So simple. Right, let's do the same for the rocks. Play around with those. What does it I need to do? Angle, yeah. I've not done angle. Yeah, I have. Yeah, +1, but I need to put it +5. Hang about. I think we can even make that a little bit more tasty if I just think about it. So it's just, oh no, random 5 + 5, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. So I do set angle to random 5 plus random 5. There we go. And then it was also oh yeah, that was 40, wasn't it? That was auto value. We make it vanish a bit, don't we? Yeah. Okay, and then we go back in here. That's where we set the speed as well, wasn't it? So yeah, we need to set the speed here. The stones, so let's we'll just set it standard for now. Let's not mess about. Movement. Right, let's try that out. So now we've got stones and leaf particles in. And we'll go in and we'll just test another one in a minute. We'll quickly chuck one in the database. So what I'm going to test out is I'm going to do a purple leaf for these flowers here and see if it works out nice. Yeah. Boom. I'm happy with that. But I am going to go back and make the particles a little bit bigger, I think. What do you think? Do you think the particle effects need to be slightly chunkier? So for example, like these leaves here, look. Or are they nice and subtle and just there, you know? Thoughts? Chucking it out there. I think they look alright, but I don't know if I can make them bigger. They might be a little bit more visual, you know? Right, so let's test see if my database is working as it should. We'll go over to this purple flower. We'll give it leaves, and so purple is red, blue. We'll make it a bit lighter than that. We don't want it too dark. Okay, bring that up a bit. There we go. Save that. Let's go and test that out straight in game. See if it's now going to start kicking out purple leaves. Okay, falling on the ground, right, gotcha. Yeah, actually, no, that's a good point. That is a good point. That's a bug. I'll have to work on that. I don't know why it's doing that. Should be able to click there. Don't know why I can. How strange. Right, let's see if purple ones have started working. Come on. Oh, hit everything but a purple block. Come on. Yeah. Well, I think you could have them lay on the ground, but they'd still fade out at the end of the day, and I don't want them hanging around for too long because it'll just clutter. Because it's already visually quite noisy as it is. But I think they need to hang around a little bit longer. They look a little bit weak, don't they? But they're there at least. They're there, which is something I'm happy about that now. Right, so let's just, for the sake of it, while we're on, while we're here, let's go ahead and do. We'll give it. What's brown? Is it red? 216158888. We'll chuck them in just to see what it's like, you know, with them all in. See what it turns out like. See if it looks cool. Okay, so that should be every single block. As now has a particle effect attached and a coloured explosion. Let's have a little look. Don't know what that's all about. I was picking an empty level. What's it doing that for? Right, so everything should now have an effect. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I need to keep it as smooth as possible. Like I said, for anyone who is watching, the actual the gameplay may tend to see. Why isn't the why are these fences not working? Are they working? There's no particle coming out of the fence. Why is that? What have I done? Because I'm running a debugger alongside my game, that it chews up my memory a little bit. But when I compile the game and run it, you get it's very smooth. I think it's only running at 67 megs at the moment. So this game runs at 67 megabytes of memory it needs, which is not a hell of a lot. I like to keep it as efficient as possible because not everyone has the luxury of a really good computer. See what would be cool with those tomato plants? If I have a red explosion, so the tomato plant. Why is this? Oh, it's because I didn't pick one. There we go. You have to pick the actual ID as well. So we go with tomato plants. So because it's chucking out a red cloud, let's give it green leaves. Let's see what happens. That might look cool. So that's saved. So now that tomato plant. You're falling behind us all. Catch up, will ya? Here we go. Let's smash up some tomatoes. Alright, keep an eye on the tomato plant. Oh no, for some reason it come out white. No! Yeah, it's quite cool, I like that. Or I could do it the other way around. I could have a green explosion and red balls come out, as in tomatoes or something. So yeah, that's nice bit of work. So that's the whole particle engine sort of in now. All I've got to do is fiddle with the particles themselves to make them sort of... it's alright. Cheers, ma'am. Obviously, it's not finished by any means, but the groundwork, big chunk of the groundwork's in there. So there's a particle engine running now for each block. Anyone else? Any thoughts? We're talking about the particle effects that I've just added. So they're being created based off a database. So they're preset. So I can change them at any minute. But sort of the groundwork's laid. I think it's looking nice. It's looking all right. Let me know what you think. Boom, boom. So this is Dreamstones. It's an Arkanoid RPG I'm working on at the moment. This is obviously the core gameplay of the Arkanoid side of it. It's very early on, but it's getting there. Boom, boom. You can also equip weapons. There's going to be monsters. You can build up a kingdom. You know, there's loads to it. You unlock skills and... Here we go. Okay, so that's I'm quite pleased with that. Let's go back and fiddle with the actual drawings of the leaves. See if we make them a bit bigger. See what they look like. So there's your leaf. We won't drop it. We'll go down to half the size instead of them being only a few pixels, they'll be a few pixels bigger. And you might be able to actually tell what the hell I'm drawing. You'll be able to see what a leaf is and what's not. Yeah, maybe that's a bit better. We'll have a look. Let's try it out. It'll only take a second. Okay. Save that, shut that down. What we got here? Don't want that. Okay. That's a leaf. Let's try it. We'll just label that leaf 2 for now. And you will be chip 2. Here we go. We'll slap them in. We'll see what happens. So anyone who's tuned in, I'll quickly run through a few bits that I'm working on. I've got the actual level editor for my game. So you've got floors within a world. So you know this is something I've been working on for quite a while to get. You know, you can just lay blocks as simple as that and export bang straight in the game. You can check all your floors out. This is the block editor, so each block has its own stats and information. This is how I fiddle with the particles, etc. But let's jump straight back in and get these new particles in, see if they look better. Here we go. Okay, let's check that out. See if bigger particles look a bit better. Yeah, that's much better. What do you think of that? That's a bit better, isn't it? Have some of that. Also, when I've finished off, some of these tiles are the actual blocks will be animated as well. And for example, the purple ones, because they're what's called nightmare stones, and the premise of each map is to destroy all the nightmare stones, and then you can move up a floor. So unlike most Arkanoid games, you can move on without destroying all the blocks. But it obviously has its benefits for destroying them all. There's like a score attack for every single level that unlocks stuff. But they're going to have like an extra effect when you destroy them, because they're of such importance. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. Right. So, any Arkanoid fans out there? We've got Lazar here. He's a big old fan of Arkanoid games. Anyone else? I keep seeing that happen. Every now and then the particles come out white, and they should not be doing that. But I can fix that. I'll fix it in a minute. I'll fix it later. As long as they're in for now. See one there, they would come out white. That's not on. It's just not on. Boom. There we go. Okay. Save that. Yeah. I think I'm going to call it a day there, guys, for now. It's getting on, what is it, 5 o'clock now? So I'll have the wife be coming home soon. But I'll be about later. I'm going to try and stream again tonight, because I'm going to carry on working. Maybe from about 8ish onwards, maybe. So that's GMT, so 8 o'clock in the UK, whatever that is, wherever you are. Phil, I'll be happy as hell if you could swing by again. I'll just be working on Dreamstones. I might be doing some more graphics tonight, because I've got, for anyone who's new to the room, I've got a couple of hundred of these islands to draw, all the different styles and stuff. So yeah, I've got my work cut out for me. So if you want to watch me struggle my way through it, please swing by. It's been an absolute pleasure. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon.